Hi, I'm Jillian and welcome to the show. I offer spiritual growth for the rebel soul, guiding you through the labyrinth of your own ascension path. This show is for the rebel souls that challenge the status quo, those that crave authenticity in every single aspect of their lives, that desire to embrace their uniqueness, follow their passions, connect to their soul and live according to who they truly are, even if that means having the courage to go against the grain or the norms of society. If that's you, my spiritual soul seeker, rebel warrior, then this is the place for you. On this podcast, we speak about everything from spirituality, sexuality, conscious relationships, business, and literally everything in between. So if that's your jam, then stay tuned. And go on, be a rebel and subscribe. You know you want to. So today we're going to talk about a reaction that I had recently. And that reaction was to a person that I know, and I really like them. And they announced online that they were doing a full moon workshop, a ritual, a workshop, a session on the full moon. And I had an instant ick reaction in my body. Like, I got the ick at seeing that or hearing that instantly. My whole body just went into like, you know that feeling? The ick, right? We've all had the ick around something. And I definitely got that. And I was like, huh? That's so weird because I really like this person. So why did the fact that they were announcing that they were doing a particular workshop on the full moon give me that real visceral reaction in my body? And obviously I trust my intuition because my intuition speaks through my body. You know, I'm very clairsentient. So that means that I get information about certain things through reading energy in my body. And sometimes that can come as a physical sensation. The ick, right? That feeling like you're just like, you honestly kind of felt like you just want to recoil. So I really sat with myself and I'm like, what the hell did that mean? Like, why did that give me the ick so much? When, like I said, I like this person in general, but why, you know, them now saying that they're doing a full moon workshop or ritual on the full moon, it just like, it's, as I said, I recoiled in my body. So I sat with it as I do, and I reflected on it as I do. And it was really about, the thing that came up for me was, and this is what I say, you know, anyone that is drawn to my work, anyone that is drawn to me energetically, you are a rebel soul. You know, you are here to do things differently. You are not a conformist. You are here to speak differently, do things differently, tell the truth differently, to walk through the fire and literally come out of the other side in a way that is so unique to you. And that is something that I really empower all of my clients to do, is to find their own thing, find their own niche, find their own way of doing things in this world, whether that is as a healer or a psychic or, you know, or just using their own beautiful soul-led empathic gifts to be of service to the world, to the people around them and themselves, so that they can live the most meaningful and fulfilling life that is part of their own unique soul plan and their own unique soul blueprint. So what that means, obviously, as the rebel soul, we don't like things that are cliche, right? We don't like things that are boxed in or conformist or expected, right? And this goes even within the spiritual world. And when I tuned into it, that was my body saying, oh my God, all of these people are doing the same thing. They're doing the exact same thing around almost like highlighting the power of the full moon to create workshops and stuff around. And again, I don't have any problem with anyone doing whatever they feel they want to do, right? Like, this is what I want to empower people to do. But for me, the message for me, and again, the message for anyone that is drawn to work with me, that are here to walk their own path, that are here to, you know, drum to the beat of their own drum, if that's a phrase. You are not meant to do things from a spiritual perspective by script. You're here to fuck things up. You're here to shake things up. You're here to speak truths into spaces that have been silent and left quiet. Like, you're here to do all of those things. So that was like the first thing that came up for me, was like, oh my God, like this conformist nature that we even see in the spiritual spaces was something that I realized is just so far beyond anything that I want to sign up for. You know, it's like, this is not my path. I'm here to do things in a very unique way that lights up my soul, and doing a full moon ritual or doing a workshop on the full moon just does not feel in alignment with me, like, whatsoever. And hence the body reaction, right? And then I went into it a little more. I'm like, okay, was that the message for me? Is there something else there for me? And, you know, with full moon specifically, in the past, being so hypersensitive and psychic, I've either been really impacted by the moon or feel really off by the moon, right? So it really depends on the moon and the transition of the moon, but I have generally been, in the past, like affected by it in an interesting way. And that can happen when you are so intuitively sensitive, right? Things like the moon or the phases or the collective energy shifts can really impact you and impact your energy and make you feel a kind of way, right? Because you're tapping into those things. And when a lot of people, you know, and a lot of people, because we have this, it's like Christmas, right? It's like this holiday, this perceived day where a lot of people almost worship that day. And what can happen with that is like this pool of collective energy. And when I tune into that energy, it almost feels like, and look, take this as you will, right? Because this might not resonate with many of you, but this is just what I see when I psychically tune into it. It's almost like the moon has become this ritualistic, worshipped space, and the full moon days and the full moon energy, it's like that harnesses a lot of energy, because if people have intentions collectively at the same time on the same day, that energy can be used in ways that are very positive, but also can be hijacked and harnessed and used in ways that aren't so positive and negative. And this is when I tune into this energy, right? It's almost like the way that I see it psychically is like, again, take this as you will, guys, because you might think I'm an absolute Fruit Loop here, but I'm just going to go with it because this is what I see. So it's like the moon, it almost has a facade. It's almost like, have you ever seen, this is how it's coming through, like the old school theaters, like the Shakespearean theaters, where they would roll in the props. So imagine like there's this big moon, right? So imagine the scene is, you know, Romeo and Juliet are talking outside and the moonlit is behind them. So in the olden days, they would have like literally made a moon and painted it or something out of like wood or something and rolled it on wheels into the center stage as part of the backdrop, and then the actors would act in front of it, right? That's how I see the moon on a full moon and the full moon energy. It's almost like the moon energy has been hijacked. And when I say hijacks, guys, there's energies and things that go far beyond us that are impacting and influencing the collective, that are trying to dull the light that is being brought in to the world, into Earth, right? And it's almost like there are beings and collective energies that are impacting our ability to fully stand in our power and keeping the world in this kind of state of fear and darkness. And this is kind of what I see with like energies like this on a full moon being hijacked to be used for purposes that are not ideal. So it feels like this, you know, it's almost like this facade moon has rolled in front of the real moon, and is almost like taking up that energy, all the intentions and all the collective energy that you are creating when you go to these full moon circles or full moon workshops, or, you know, collectively setting intentions. It feels like it's being gathered up by something that isn't actually for our highest good. And again, guys, like, take that as you want, but this is what I see when I've tuned into it because that reaction for me, that ick, was very, very visceral. And I am going to investigate something that I don't understand, right? I'm going to investigate such a visceral response because that is my intuition giving me a signal, giving me a message, and telling me that I need to go and look deeper into this thing. So that's what I did, right? I used my psychic and energetic abilities, and I tuned into the energy of why did I react in that way to full moon workshops and rituals, right? So these are the things that were coming up for me. And again, you might resonate with this. You might feel that that is true in your body, or you might not resonate it with all and be like, you know what, Jillian, I love a full moon ritual and I love a full moon gathering and I love to go to these things. Cool. That is so for you. But for me, these are the things that were coming up for me, right? And also within these spaces, right? Like, again, I'm not throwing anybody under the bus, but, because again, a lot of people do have the best intentions when they create workshops or anything on the full moon. But again, for me, and this is my path. This doesn't have to be your path. This doesn't have to resonate with you, but this is just what I have sensed and I'm feeling as I've tuned into it. And also, with certain, like some of these gatherings, right? Some of these workshops that people do, right? Like you are gathering in a group, right? You are connecting to the energies of the people that are in this workshop or in this group. And that is being highlighted and amplified by that space, right? And, if that teacher or that facilitator cannot hold space with integrity, or they're not trauma informed, or they're not energetically clear, then your energy can scream. If you are tuned in enough, you can feel that isn't a safe space. And from me tuning into the energies of that, I feel there are a lot of unsafe spaces that are being created in the guises of a full moon workshop or a full moon ritual. And for me, I don't fuck with that. For me, the biggest thing that I know that I'm here to create is a safe space for people. A space that is energetically clean, that is energetically aligned, and that is safe for people, not only emotionally to release or to be held or be seen or understood, but energetically and integrally clean and clear. Like I am very strong on making sure that is the case. And some people out there are not informed or teach in that way, right? So again, that's another thing that was coming up for me when I was tuning into it. And then another thing as well, like again, I work with so many clients that have a lot of different connections, right, to the cosmos, to the galactics, to ancestral, to the earth, right, to nature, to all of these different things. And I sometimes feel like we have a certain frequency that connects us to different areas and different parts, which is part of our soul blueprint, right? And some of us aren't necessarily aligned to the lunar lens. Some of us have actually come here to evolve past what I would class as the lunar lens, right? So when you tune into the moon or the moon cycles or the full moon, sometimes that can feel a little bit outdated or limited, because you almost know that you don't need the moon to tell you when to do your work, because you're already plugged into the whole damn cosmos, right? Because you have connections to everything. Like I said, the astral, your soul contracts, your quantum timelines, the people that I work with generally have all the access to this already. So this is another thing that you might be feeling if you also have a certain feeling or reaction to these types of full moon workshops or workshops held on a particular full moon, right? So those are the main things that I wanted to talk about when it came to the full moon. And this is where really I just want to invite you to start trusting your intuition. Just because full moon ritual, seems very spiritual, right? It often feels like it's just cookie cutter, right? Like, oh, I have to do this full moon ritual or this workshop. But it also, like, a lot of these can feel very performative at times, right? It's almost like people are doing it on those days more for aesthetics or more for like a performative space, because it's what everyone does, right? It's what everyone does in the spiritual space. But for me, when I tune into it, it doesn't feel rich. It doesn't feel whole. It doesn't feel powerful and wholesome. Like, it actually feels pretty energetically empty, to be honest with. And I'm not saying that's the case for everyone. This is just where I'm at right now and what I am currently feeling and tuning into when I connect to the energies of doing these types of full moon workshops, right? Like, this is my present reality right now. This is me tuning in energetically and psychically to that visceral ick feeling. And this is me telling you in real time what is coming up for you, because you might be feeling the same. And again, this is why I want you to trust the feelings, trust your intuition. You know, if you're being called to go to one of these full moon workshops or rituals, like, why are you going to go there? Is it because you think that's going to, you know, transform something completely in you? Or do you just feel like, oh, that's a cool spiritual thing to do? Like, really, I want to give you permission to really tune into what am I really being called to do, right? Because you might not be called to go to these particular things for the best reason. You know, you don't have to go to these things to know that you can do the energetic and clearing work for yourself, right? Like, you don't have to do that. And I just want to be able to give you the empowerment and the permission to know that you don't need a full moon ritual to be on your path. You don't need to go to these groups that may or not be held with integrity to access your intuition or, you know, be a spiritual being, right? But if you feel called to it and you've actually questioned it and sat with it around, like, what are the deeper reasons of why I'm being called to go here, and you get a clear, concise answer, then do it. You know, absolutely do it. I'm not saying that my what I'm tuning into and intuiting right now is going to be right for you, because we're all on a different path. We're all on a different energetic frequency. And there's things that are going to resonate with me that are never going to resonate with you, and vice versa. And that's okay, because we don't all have to speak the same truth, right? We don't have to believe in the same thing. We don't have to intuit the same thing, right? Because sometimes you're being called to do something because there's a deeper lesson there for you. You know, potentially you're being called to go there because you're going to get something out of it, or you're going to realize that you didn't trust your intuition. You know, there's so many things that are bigger than us to understand. And sometimes your intuition is guiding you there because you have to learn a bigger lesson, or there's a bigger reason for that. But before you go to any of these things, I just want you to just tune in, you know, tune into it and actually see if this truly resonates with your soul, or you're just following the crowd, right? Because I just want to let you know that if you're listening to this, you are not here to follow anyone's crowd. You are here to completely rewrite the way that you do things and how you do things. And you don't need to be doing your spiritual practices on a full moon. Like, your path is completely frequency led. It's completely intuitively guided, and it's not pre-described because everyone else is doing it. So that was it, guys. Like, again, if you don't feel aligned to do any of these things, and you know, and again, if I don't feel aligned to do any of these things, it's not because you're being a spiritual snob or I'm being a spiritual snob. It's just because my intuition knows better, and maybe yours do too. So if you are the kind of person that's craving like something real, if you are craving something that is like deep, that's clean, that's potent, that is deeply you, so you can trust yourself implicitly and create something that is unique to you, so you don't have to like follow the rules. You don't have to do anything because anyone else is doing it, or this is what the spiritual community do. Then I am probably the person to support you with that. If you are interested in developing your own gifts and working with your own intuition, your energy, and navigating the path that your soul has chosen for this lifetime, then you can work with me in so many different ways. You can work with me in the Path, which is my one-on-one private coaching, which is a truly transformational journey, really guided towards your own goals of your evolution and your growth. And the Rebel Psychic School, which is my psychic development group program, that will be reopening at the end of the year, so you can jump on the waitlist there. Or I have a bunch of different one-on-one sessions that you can also join, and I have a very exclusive offer coming up that I will keep close to my chest at this moment, but yeah, keep an eye on my newsletter, my emails, or on my Instagram stories, because I will have an announcement coming very, very soon that you might also love. And it doesn't involve any full moon workshops. Anyway, I'm sending you so much love on this journey, and just trust your intuition, guys. You've got it. You're here to do things your way, not anyone else's way, and don't let anyone tell you different. Sending you so much love.